Hello everyone. I know it's not too often that I put a video out, but it's been about 4 or 5 months, so I'm going to put another one out here. And I'm going to start off by showing these shelves, and I'll show you a few engines that I got, some of the scenery that I did, a couple run-bys. And I'll start off with these shelves. This was the first thing I wanted to show. I did complete these shelves. I only had the first 3 rows up, but now I have them all the way up to the ceiling. And they do go across the door. I will not be putting any more there. The Husky stack cars get their own shelf, but everybody else has to share. So let's go on to the next thing. One of the things I wanted to go over today in my video are my two S2 switchers that I have here. On the left is an MTH Santa Fe, which I bought I guess about 2 years ago. On the right is a Lionel Southern. I bought that about 3 months ago. Both are great switchers in their own right, and switching is exactly what I use them for. I really do beat the crap out of both of these, and with the constant forward and reverse, coupling, uncoupling, banging in the rolling stock, and so forth. I have found through experience what's good and what's not so good about both of them. My Santa Fe here is 2.0, and it's flawless in the switch yard. Due to the fact that it has 4 pickup rollers, it has no trouble maintaining power through the 4 switches that I have in the rail yard itself. It's got a smoke unit, but it's not fan driven. It kind of comes out in a wisp. It comes out real thick and typical of if you didn't have a fan. I'm guessing that MTH didn't have the room in the small engine chassis for a fan motor. The one small drawback about this is that there's only one motor in it, and I guess that's another space issue. Even though both sets of trucks have traction tires, it doesn't seem to have the pulling power that the Lionel does. Although it is a switcher, and I don't expect it to pull 20 cars at once anyway. The one advantage that it does have over the Lionel is that it has no problems latching onto Rail King rolling stock, which Lionel seems to have a problem with. I don't know, I guess the couplers don't match up or something. Like I have this, for instance. I'll roll this guy in here. And this Rail King car has the map on the side, and I'm a sucker for anything related to maps and geography in general, so this is right up my alley. To the best of my knowledge, I have every hopper car that MTH put out with the map on the associated route that it pertains to. And I believe that there's 22 of them, and there's 2 more coming out, so we're going to make that 24. I do have them on order. This is the Lionel Southern, which does have a fan-driven smoke unit and has legacy. How they fit all that stuff in that little chassis, I don't know. It has 4 pickup rollers, so it too has no problems in the switch yard. It is the only Lionel engine I have on my MTH DCS remote, simply because it would be easier than holding 2 remotes while I'm running the engine and changing the switches, which are also on DCS. It seems to have a lot more pulling power than the MTH, and I think the main reason is the motor is in the middle of the unit, like right here. And that would, to me, would distribute the weight, and it also has a drive shaft going to each set of trucks underneath. You can actually see them; they are exterior, and that spreads the pulling power out. I've actually pulled 25 cars with this little guy. The horn has 3 different tones when you use the Legacy slider. I'll have to show you them later. When I bought this, there was a problem with the smoke unit. I had smoke coming out of the front of the engine, as well as the stack. But it looked kind of cool. If it was a steamer, it would have been great. I wouldn't have done nothing with it. But the smoke was filling up the cab and probably coating all the interior parts. So I shipped it back to Lionel, and kudos to Lionel. They had it back to my house in less than 2 weeks. One of the more time-consuming things that I did was I put scenery in this berm that I have between the rail yard and the innermost loop, and I got a little crazy with it.
This here is going to be my the beginnings of my refinery slash diesel fueling station and coal station for the 2 steamers that I have. I'm hoping to park them back over here somewhere. One thing that I did want to talk about was this right here, this decoupler. I run my decouplers and my accessories on DCS, and I like to use it as the train's rolling by. And one time I was doing it, and I turned it on. I don't do the pulse, I do the on, so that it'll stay on for 4 or 5 seconds as something rolls by, and I want to uncouple it. Well, I got distracted when I turned it on, and either the train derailed or the train was going to hit its tail or something, because I had a pretty long consist here, and I forgot about it. And next thing I knew, I had that. I don't know if you can see it very well, but I fried it. So I had to replace that. Now, I have a feeling that someday I'm going to wind up doing that again. So what I've done is I've wired up an LED to it, so that when it goes on, and I'll demonstrate here, whenever I turn it on, blue LED turns on. And I've found that you can leave this on for 10 seconds without burning it up. But and when I shut it off, the LED goes off. So from my perspective, my main disadvantage of this layout is I only have one side to look at. The other 3 sides are surrounded by a wall. So the rail yard can't be seen very well from where I'm standing. Hence why I didn't really decorate it all that much. But every one of these posts that shows me where the decoupler is from where I stand has an LED on it now. Siding 4 will be this guy right here, which is for the 4th spar. Then here's the 3rd one, and the 2nd one, and so on. Now you pretty much get the point. What the hell, I might as well do the 1st one too, right? So that was my fix for what I feel is going to be a problem later on. I did it once, I'm sure I'll do it again, and I won't know about it, and it won't be as easy to get to later on. So I did add some rail yard lights. I do have them on, you can see them. And that's it for the rail yard for now. In my lake area, I have finally managed to add some trees. These trees right here are basically to hide the iTad from view, the 2 iTads from view. So it looks much better from a viewing perspective. When I start putting some trees up there, I think I want to add some more. I just got to get some different colors. I believe in the last video I showed I just had the brewery here. Well, the brewery now has some company. It's got a grocery store. Get you a little zoom in on that a little bit. And then here, this was going to be a construction company, but I decided, since all my machinery is brand new and shiny, and I don't do the weathering thing, now they're just going to sell new machinery. And it comes with the fence, and I know that building's supposed to be a granary, but not anymore. Did a little scenery for the tower, for a signal bridge. And the chain link fence that I enjoy putting together. This is the pizza place. There is actually, it's called Palace Pizza. I do have a Palace Pizza in my area, so when I seen it, I kind of thought, hey, that'd be kind of cool to put it on my layout. The main thing about this is that this drops down. Everything that's gray here drops down, so that I will have access to this whole area when this hole in the center is filled in. And I'm in the middle of putting scenery around between the road and the gray parking lot. I added these signal lights, these Atlas dwarf signals to the layout. I have 8 of them on here now. Basically, they may not be facing the right way, they may not be prototypical in their locations per se, but I put them in for my own personal reference so I can see at a glance what position the switches are in. And like I said, I have 8 of them in strategic switch locations that I feel are the 8 most important ones to keep an eye out on. Like here would be a pretty important spot on the main line. I got one down there. I got a couple. One that shows me the front. I don't know if you can see it behind the signal tower there. And I got one for the rail yard. I don't know if you can see it behind the trees there. From my viewing perspective, I can see it, and I have one here which is a pretty important one too. When the switches are activated, it's red. When they're going straight, they're green. That's pretty much like I said, it's from my own personal reference. This corner here, I think I even said it on the last video I put out 4 or 5 months ago that I did not know what to do with this, and I wanted to do something different. And it finally dawned on me about a month ago walking through a store down in Delaware. I saw the Lionel Lighthouse. And I thought that'd be kind of cool to put that on the top of the hill here, and have like a ramp that goes down to water. So I'm thinking all this is going to be water with rock edges all the way down to this pole. I'm going to cut this away and do something else with it, because I find that when I have younger people coming down here and looking at it, they like to scratch at it and they like to pick at it. As you can see, it's all loose now. So I'm going to have to do something a little more permanent about this. But that's the idea right now. Lighthouse, some water, more painted rock. Hopefully in the next video I'll have that all done. As far as engines and rolling stock are concerned, my latest additions have been this Lionel Santa Fe. And over here I have the Southern Pacific SD35A from Lionel. I sold my MTH DD40 AX that I upgraded to 2.0 myself to make room for it. I'm not a fan of collecting a big pile of stuff. When I get new engines, someone's going to have to miss the cut. I have a limited amount of space. I'm not adding any more shelves. So between 25 engines and 75 pieces of rolling stock, I should find a way to make myself happy with what I got. As far as additions to rolling stock, I got 4 MTH Sunoco tanker cars. 5 other tankers missed the cut. They went on eBay to make room for them. And then I bought 8 of these Lionel hopper cars, coal hoppers, coal porters, whatever you want to call them. I believe they're designed for their $500 coal tipper, because these couplings spin like so. Get you a little close there. And also it doesn't open. There's no way to open it. So it spins. Oddly enough, the other side doesn't spin, so I'm not exactly sure how that works. But I don't look to be buying the coal tipper anytime soon. But they are nice looking cars. They don't come with loads. I haven't put any loads in them yet, but I'm looking to put some coal loads in them. I'm going to do some views of the layout now. So you can kind of see the track design, which I'm designing on the fly here, and still am to an extent. In closing, I thought I'd show you this little engine, the little Lionel S2 I spoke about earlier.
This is the Yardmaster. Do you read me? Over. Roger that. Read you loud and clear. Start her up and stand by to pull. Acknowledge. Out.
And it's got 3 horn tones on the legacy slider. There's 1. There's 2. There's 3. I love how this little guy pulls 25 cars up the hill. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully I'll put some videos on sooner than every 4 or 5 months. We'll see. Take care.